All right, we are back with Coping Mechanisms and / or potentially Cope podcast. I'm not sure. We're still early enough that I feel like I can wiggle around a little bit and continue to feel it out. But anyways, this will be episode 4. As promised, I will stop making these over-explanatory intros, but I still have a couple more to put out where I did not really know what I was doing in terms of videography, framing, lighting, even audio. I kind of screwed it up on this one. I actually lost the audio, well, the high quality audio. Luckily, I had a backup audio, so it was fine, but it wasn't ideal. That's actually the whole reason why I want to put this out and why I'm making these intros. It's not to have the most polished, perfect thing to put out into the world. It's to document the journey and the process of getting this out there, of having this dream for I've been talking about doing this podcast for 5 years, back when I had the old podcast. And yeah, I'm just proud of myself for being out in Costa Rica without the proper gear, the means, a plan really to make this stuff happen, finding cool people and being like, yeah, I'm gonna make this podcast happen. So we did it. This is with my friend Malgorzata / Margot / Gosha / Margarita. She's a woman of many names, as I call her in the podcast. But she's a really amazing woman who grew up in Warsaw, Poland, and decided that she wanted to devote her life to surfing, and now she leads these women's surf camps all over the world. She's really a profound person. She has a really cool outlook on life, a lot of really great insights about just, deciding to carve her own way in life. I think that's the thing that really sticks out to me about her. Just where she grew up, surfing was not a thing. And I just love that. I think she's a really cool person, and I appreciate her time greatly for coming on this podcast. And yeah, so we've got 2 more from this Costa Rica trip, and then we are on to some much higher quality cinema. And if you watch through all of them, they get a little bit better every time, but in 2 more episodes, they get really, really good visually. I'm still incredibly proud of this conversation. I'm happy that I was able to make the footage worth watching. I think the lighting is crazy, the ocean noise is a lot, but I'm proud of it, putting it out there, and it will be an important thing I hope to look back on in documenting this process. So this is Coping Mechanisms, episode 4, with my dear friend Margot in beautiful Dominical, Costa Rica. One big pan on that, because that's fucking beautiful. Bring us around to right here. Get in there. Clap in. Hey, buddy. Alright, we are clapping.
You can be here, but not in the front of camera, Rocky. Alright, stay.
Good boy. Okay, alright. So, welcome to the Cope podcast. Thank you for being here, first of all.
Oh my god.
Let's just get in with some gratitude.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really super excited to take part in that.
Yeah, so just to give you an intro, I don't know if I'm going to do a pre-roll intro or whatever, but you are known as Margarita, but you are also, to me, Margot, and also Gosha, a woman of many names, but your true name is Malgorzata, right?
Yes, exactly. That's my name, Malgorzata.
Cool. And you are from Poland originally, but you're so much more than just a Polish girl. Just to give the people some background, I met this amazing, beautiful, cool, just excited and stoked as fuck on life woman out in Dominical, and we kind of bumped into each other a few times. You were hanging out with another Polish girl, a few other Polish girls actually, and Polish people I have had no interaction with, so you guys are very foreign to me, and you guys are just kind of in your own little clique doing your own little thing. But we had seen each other around, and then I remembered actually you were on the beach with the other Malgorzata, and I caught a really good wave, and then you followed me on Instagram after, and I felt validated, because then I saw your Instagram and I saw that your whole life was about surfing, and that you actually really were, because you see people that talk about surfing and stuff, but a lot of people aren't really about it, but you are fully dedicated to the art and the experience of surfing and sharing surfing and actually spreading that message around the world. So after that, initial interaction of you following me on Instagram and then us starting to talk some more through the other Malgorzata or Margarita, whatever, I was like, wow, this person's so amazing. Like, what the fuck? Like, would you be down to podcast? And you were like, yeah, sure. And we just got to know each other a little bit more. I got to know a little bit more about what it is that you're doing, and you're just up to some fucking amazing stuff, especially being compared to the other Polish girl that was with you, who was going back to work her job.
Yeah.
You basically told me that you said fuck all that at some point and you were going to go live your life and completely dedicate yourself to surfing and traveling. So like, can you just tell us, like, just really surface level, like, what do you fucking do? Because it took me a while to even understand that.
Yeah, well, that was like a kind of process, of course. It didn't happen like from one day to another.
Right.
But definitely I can say that it will sound a little bit very cheesy, but that's true, that surfing changed my life and changed the way how I perceive the world, how I build up my values and what I follow actually. And I think that I made a decision that I want to build up my life around surfing. After 3 or 4 years of surfing already, I just, went so much into the culture and the culture of surfing and traveling, and also this kind of like human relations that go after that I completely fall in love. And I realized that all my life that I had before just does not suit this package anymore, and I have to do something about that. And mostly that if I really want to surf, I must dedicate to it.
Yeah.
I must commit to it.
Yeah.
That was the point.
Was that like a hard
one.
thing for you to realize? Like when did this happen for you? Like this first moment of like breaking the old reality and being like, what the fuck? Like when did that happen? What age?
Well, I think that it happened when I realized that I cannot have both lives at the same time. I cannot be an effective surfer, build up my surfing skills, and also inspire other people in doing what I'm doing if I am keeping my regular job in Warsaw and I'm just, having this kind of lifestyle like from Monday to Friday, from 9 to 5. I just can't do it because time somehow sadly is limited, and at some point you just must make a choice, right?
Yeah.
So of course it was a lot about like getting out of the comfort zone, because I had to leave a lot of stuff behind me, and it was scary, and it was like it was scary at the same time. It was like exciting because it was like something new was coming after that. I think that I decided to do it when I was like, I was one leg at the Portuguese coast and one leg in Warsaw.
Yeah.
And it just got too much tiring for me. I said like, no, it can't be like this.
So you started traveling a little bit first, and then you started to get
definitely. I was traveling, I think I was traveling for about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Before.
What age did you start traveling and start to develop this idea of like, oh, there's another world outside of fucking Warsaw?
It was like just after high school, I think.
Okay, so it was there from the beginning, always, and then you kind of went into a more quote-unquote normal Polish life, I guess?
Yes. I just, I love traveling from when I was a little kid, basically, because I was traveling a lot with my parents.
Yeah, okay,
but,
that helps a lot.
So I think there was some kind like, this like need of nomadism in my blood. I just liked to be on the way.
Yeah.
But then, of course, until 18, 19, 20 years old, I just didn't have space to do that because I was always at the school.
Yeah.
And then after high school, basically was, it started with my travel to Italy. I was in Italy for a few months. I had my first boyfriend there, and I just started to roll my life a little bit like not in Poland but abroad.
Yeah.
And from that time I was really traveling a lot. I traveled across whole Europe, being in different places. And this need of travel that was always in my blood somehow, But then with time I discovered surfing, and that completely like changed everything.
Yeah. It gives more context to travel. Like you now have a purpose to travel other than just self-discovery.
Well, traveling is like, just traveling is a purpose in itself, I think.
Yeah.
It's like we say that it's not like the place where we go, but the road. And it's absolutely like, it's all about traveling, I think, right? Mm-hmm. It's just that you find yourself in some super like new space, and then it depends on you what you do about that. I mean, for example, I always love to travel by myself, and I really like to travel on my own, meeting local people, sharing experiences, discovering their culture. I really always like to travel this way, to stay like close to the local communities. Mm-hmm. And I think that I started to discover a lot about human nature, about human needs, that actually no matter where we live in the world, they are somehow like the same, and our needs and our dreams, they are somehow like similar. And I think that it built up a lot of like nice attitude to my life, like more tolerant, more open, eyes on the horizon, in general.
Yeah. So what was it about surfing that was like different? Like how did surfing change that?
Well,
like, in relation to travel.
It changed because surfing is in itself it's like an addiction. It's something that you just, when you discover it and you fall in love with that, it's just something that you don't want to miss then anymore. You just want to have it every day, right?
Yeah.
You are a surfer, so you know how it works.
Yeah.
Something that this connection with the ocean, with the nature, and with the big water, and all this life that is underneath the surface of the water that we don't see. Mm-hmm. I feel this kind of like connection. You just want to be there always, like you want to be a part of that, right? So it's like extremely addictive, and I think that it also makes you understand that if you want to be a surfer, like a real surfer, you need to move to the coast, you need to dedicate to it. And then it just makes a lot of changes in your life.
Yeah. To me, surfing is like the source of it. It's like the ultimate metaphor for life. Like traveling to me is like surfing, and then surfing is the ultimate concentration of what traveling is, because traveling is like you're putting yourself out there into the unknown where there's all these waves of energy and all these different lives, and you catch these moments. Like a lot of travel is difficult and very challenging, but you have these moments where you're like, whoa, like what the fuck, only this would happen during traveling. And surfing like is this metaphor for that, but just in relation to nature. It's just these weird moments that you can only experience while putting yourself out there. They'll never happen again. It's this weird, like the addiction is almost in capturing these magical moments that will never happen again. Almost, it's like, wow, what the fuck was that? Riding a wave, right? And riding the waves of life.
Yes, it's absolutely like this philosophy of here and now that you find through surfing, for sure. I mean, you can also find it through traveling, because you can be traveling having this like attitude of like planning, making big plans, making like super straight schedules.
Yeah.
You can just go on and feel like follow the flow and travel more like widely open, like with no bigger plans. Just enjoy the moment when you are somewhere doing something. So that's kind of paragonal, but of course surfing is like the maximum altitude of that.
Yeah, it's the source. It's like everything.
It's the source.
Yeah, it's the source of it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then how many great people you meet after that.
Oh my god, yeah. Because it's a shared value. And that's the same with traveling, right? You're putting yourself out there in this unique situation, so like naturally the people you meet along the way, you share some value naturally. And it's the same with surfing. Absolutely. If you meet somebody out in the water, you're like, oh, there's a mutual respect. You're like, you're out here. You're fucking really out here putting yourself out there. I'm doing the same, and there's this mutual connection instantly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
you can just feel, you meet someone. I always say, like, the people that I met in the water are the best people that I have ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I used to meet people like everywhere, in work, on the street, in the bar, at the party, and then I start to meet people in the water. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know what are their names even, but we see them every day. And then, after 2 months, I don't know, I meet them randomly in the bar. Oh, hi, that's you, yeah, that's me. We are already connected.
Yeah.
So we have this thing in common that nobody else have.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it was with you and me, even. Like, we would see each other around town, but once we both realized that we surfed, it was like...
Yeah, then it's really
then we're
changed
instantly
a lot.
friends. We're like friends right away. And then we start talking every time we see each other. And it's just like, oh, okay, real
That's
recognized
true,
real.
That's true. That changed a lot.
Changed everything. Yeah. So I want to like kind of talk to you about this philosophy. This whole podcast is based around this idea I've been sitting with for like 7 years, which is really... It's not like, oh, I want to have a podcast or a brand or whatever for the sake of doing it. It's about this idea, this philosophy, this ethos that I've been like kind of obsessed with. And it's based around my own story of how I changed my life. Like at one point I was just in a very dark place. I was very depressed, dealt with a lot of anxiety, felt like I didn't belong in the world, or I didn't know how to fit into the world. And I just kind of struggled, I think, with like the modern expectations of, go to high school, go to college, go to work, get a job, like all that shit. I needed adventure, and I needed like rites of passage. I needed challenge, and I just felt like I couldn't really get that from normal life. So I struggled my way through trying to be a normal person and like do the normal thing while also trying to adventure on the
It's
side.
normal, right? Like define normality.
Right, which what the fuck even is that? But we all try to kind of fit in.
Yeah, those expectations actually ruining our life many times. I believe we live along expectations instead of living along, ourselves.
There's a saying that like most men die at 30 and are buried at 80. Or you spend your whole life climbing a ladder just to get to the top and realize you're on somebody else's building.
Yeah.
It's just all these things like that are contrived and pushed on us. So it creates this tension, and I find a lot of people that travel have a similar thing, and like that's why I want to talk with people who I meet while I'm traveling. So this idea to me is that you are not defined by what happens to you or by your circumstances, but how you cope. So so everything that I do and talk about is called Cope. The name of this podcast is called Cope because what I'm really interested in is like, okay, I'm like, this person's doing cool shit. And for me, that person doing cool shit also is taking, you can't do cool shit and like be a complete piece of shit. You can't like neglect yourself and not take care of yourself. There's a relationship between taking care of yourself and doing cool stuff. And also doing cool stuff is also how those people take care of themselves. So like for you, surfing is a part of your self-care, and also your self-care is your pursuit of travel and being your fullest self. So like the most fascinating people to me are the people that are doing better in life because they chose to live their life authentically. So that's what I want to like kind of ask you about, because I feel like your story can be so inspiring to so many people who are also just, working a normal job. Like the other Malgorzata, she went back to her normal job and she's like, fuck, like I have to work and all this shit. And then you're like, I'm going to go fly back to Portugal and run this surf camp. And you're like doing all this amazing stuff. So like, how do you, like, what does that mean to you when I tell you this like kind of philosophy? Like, how have you come to deal with life, and how does this like a beautiful adventurous lifestyle relate to how you've learned to deal with life?
I think that I was living along social expectations for a long time. I already said about this, like I really along some expectations I think that everybody does at some point. Because we are playing roles of children, students, and I don't know, parents if we have kids, and like we are always in some kind of a role, like a social role, and we need to play that role. So many times we live just along something that is expected, that someone expects us to be, or that the circumstances expect us to be, and actually we are like forgetting and losing ourselves in that. I mean, we forget about ourselves and what is our actual need. Yeah. And I think that people, there's this term of being happy. I mean, like the real happiness, like a joy of life is like in finding something that makes you happy, that makes you feel this joy inside your heart, And then when you understand what is it, then just stick to it. Mm-hmm. I mean, stick to your shit, Mm-hmm. And I think that we know if people mostly they know what is their thing that they really love, but they are too much scared to try, or they are too much like, oh, no, it's not gonna work for me, I'm too old, I can't do it now, it's not the right moment. So instead of just going for it, they find some obstacles and they're just like blocked. So what I think that is really like a wisdom of life is just to understand what gives you fun, what is driving you in life. And when you find this thing, just follow, We only live once, And the truth is that nothing is impossible and everything is about the choice. And we always have a choice. If we say that I don't have a choice, I can't do it, that's like self-sabotaging. That doesn't realistically exist. We can do everything that we want. We just need to have a courage for that. And I think that when you are able to find the courage in your heart to do something, that's the moment from when everything starts to build up into this like very strong and positive power and energy, The moment when you encourage yourself. Because before you encourage yourself, you will always stay in some kind of level of fears, insecurities, sadness. Always like lower, than from the one that you should be. You want to really like expand to the level of happiness, love, and joy, then you need to find this courage in yourself to move on.
Yeah.
And then I can't explain you how, but from the time when I encourage myself to do things that I really love, somehow, the universe starts to conspire in my favor.
Oh, you read The Alchemist?
Yeah.
Is that The Alchemist?
No.
Have you read that?
I did not.
Oh my God, that's what they say.
I know.
It conspires in your favor.
That's what's actually I heard from my coach in Puerto Rico, and I still remember that.
Yeah.
And he told me like, Mark, you just do your stuff, and you will see like the universe is already conspiring in your favor. And that was so much refreshing for me.
What was that moment like for you? Like, because for a while you weren't really like you had one foot in travel and one foot in the normal life. Like, what? Was there a particular moment where you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go in? Or like, what were you up against?
Well, again, that was surfing, because I just realized, I realized that I will never surf well, I will never surf at the level that I wish to surf if I live in big town with no access to the ocean. So that was like the moment for me that I realized that I need to move to the ocean side. And then the question was how to make it happen, And to be honest, I didn't have any like big plan. I was just following my passion for surfing, traveling and writing about that, doing my blog about surf travels. And it turned out that there are some people who are actually reading it, and it was like a small community of people, mostly women, that were like following my stories. And then at some point they just asked me if they can join me, if I can take them to Portugal, because they want to surf too. They always dreamt about that, And for me it was like, wow. So I'm not the only one that is actually dreaming about surfing, living in big town. There are more, and they are there. And probably there are much more.
What caused you to start writing? Like what even was that?
I don't know. I always liked writing.
Okay, so you had an idea of just like being a writer, like you had that relationship with writing, and so you just kind of like started to put it out there. Like, did you have any expectations?
No, I was just writing for myself.
Just to, like,
this
document?
like this kind of like old blogging type stuff. Like I was just writing about my travel experience. I don't know. It just turned out. I think that, basically also like why I started traveling, because I realized that every weekend that I am passing on parties and having like, I have nothing against parties, but I was just losing so much time on parties, like Friday, Saturday, then Sunday getting better, Monday back to work, and then my life was constantly like that. And I said like, I think I'm losing my time here, and I don't want to spend my time like that anymore. And now I'm gonna book a flight to Paris, I'm gonna book a flight to Rome, I'm gonna book a flight to Greece, I don't know, for 3-4 days, just, instead of doing partying on the weekends in Warsaw, I start to go out And then I start to meet people, then I start to share like some stories with them, then I start to see how other people's lifestyle is. And then I realize that my environment in Warsaw is not everything that exists. That there's much more out in the world, you know?
Yeah.
And then surfing came with this. So
was it hard for you to like believe in yourself to do that, or was it like, it seems like what I'm hearing is that surfing like was the bigger thing that allowed you to kind of like walk into the unknown a little bit more?
It was like a booster, you know?
Yeah, like you had a North Star, and that North Star was surfing.
For me it was, yes.
Yeah, but like was it scary doing that? Like just doing something, because like a lot of people, you are unique in this way, like you have a very unique perspective on these things. Like you were telling me the other day, you're like, yeah, I've had some hard times, or I'll have like a day or two, but I'll just like pop out. And I was like, what the, like, you're like, yeah, that's just like normal. I'm like, that's not normal for a lot of people. A lot of people will stay in depression for like weeks. You have this unique ability to sort of like believe in yourself and like to be willing to be different. Like, have you just always had that? Like, I feel like very different than a lot of people too. Like, I don't really relate to whatever everyone else is doing. But for me, I guess that was a product of just growing up and like not looking like other people, so I had no choice but to be different. But it was something I really struggled with. Was that something that you like consciously decided like I'm gonna be different, or was it just like I don't feel good in this other way of living, so I want to go find out what does feel better?
I think it was because I didn't feel right in the way in the life that I had before. I mean, there was a lot of very positive aspects of the life that I used to have before, and I couldn't. I would lie if I said that it was a bad life that I had before, you know. Yeah. But it was just that I always felt that somehow it's not me, you know. I think that you have this feeling somehow. It's like, you know, it's like you can be a piece of an orange, and you will still fit the apple, you know. But you will not be an apple, you know.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right.
It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And somehow I was hoping that I'm gonna find this thing in my life one day that it's gonna give me this sensation like I am now right in the right place, in the right moment, and this is where I want to be, you know. And because of my travels, because of my discoveries, research, let's say. I found this, you know, I found surfing, and that was the change, right? The game changer for me, right?
Yeah.
Totally. And if you ask me if I didn't say, did I have my bad times, like low times? For sure. I think that, you know, the thing is that I think that in the modern society, there's like a lot of people. You can say that someone is depressed, you know, see, okay, he's depressed, we can see it, but a lot of people, they are heavily depressed, and you don't even see that they are depressed, right? It's just that they deal with life until like that moment that they pretend like everything is okay, and they are okay, and you know, they must do this, like have a job, be strong, you know. They are constantly like proving everything to everyone else and to themselves. But there is like some really very deep sadness inside of them that only they are aware of that, you know.
Yeah.
So I wish that everyone could find this thing that, as I said before, that just brings him or her joy, you know.
Yeah.
And this is something that when you find it, then you should just be grateful that you found it and try to make it more, you know.
Yeah.
This is where self-love starts also.
Yeah. How do you cultivate that like relationship with yourself? Because I often tell people the reason I don't have a problem with like addictions, or the way I've been able to find my way through depression, and the way I've been able to like secure my mental health has been because of like writing, meditation, and journaling. I mean, journaling, meditation, and like conscious dialogue, like talking with people, I guess like therapy, or like working with a coach or working with a therapist. But like, do you have anything particular, like other surfing of course does that, but like in that time where you're starting to question your previous life, like how did you process that? Were you just always an introspective person?
No, I think that I think that those things, like, as you mentioned, like meditation and journaling, that's something that for sure helps a lot.
Did you do those things when you were like?
Well, I
going
was
through that
blogging,
time?
you know, so let's say that I was journaling, right?
Oh, right. So okay.
I mean, I was writing,
The
yes.
blogging
because-
served as you to reflect.
Yeah, exactly. That was like putting my thoughts on paper.
Yeah.
And for sure it's like, you know, you are having like a lot of thoughts in your head, and once you don't say it loud or you don't put it on the paper, that actually you don't know what's happening in your head.
Yeah.
So for sure it helps a lot. Meditation I do, but for me like surfing is meditation, so I
Right.
don't even need to meditate that much.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do, but to be honest I go so deep, like I'm completely disconnected. It's like if I meditate, you see me like 2 minutes, I'm boom.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere there. Like
Yeah, but that's cool that the blogging allowed you to actually, like, it's this thing that you're offering to the world, but it was like more of a documentation thing because probably you didn't have expectations. It's not like I'm going to make a blog and make a business. You're like,
No, I
I'm
didn't
just
think about
documenting
that.
my reality
Yes.
and processing what it means to me to be this young girl traveling, doing things different. For a fucking Polish person, like to go be like, I'm going to go surf. Like that's not a normal.
yeah, that was not
thing.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that was like why I was so lucky that I got successful in the way that we were not that many surfers in Poland when I
Yeah.
started, and especially girls, you know.
Yeah.
already-
Oh, women surfing in general. Yeah, even in places like California.
You see,
Yeah.
and you have this surf culture for so many years already, you know, in the United States.
Yeah.
And we didn't have it at all. I mean, we start now to create some surf culture in our country.
Yeah. And you're a
where I
huge,
come from.
huge part of that.
Uh-huh.
Which is a
Yes.
wild thing to be this girl who like has no idea about surfing, and now you're like a huge like pioneer for like female surfing in your home country.
Yeah, that's sick, no? I
Yeah.
mean,
Can you
I
tell
know.
us about like what it is, like what this project is that you're doing? Like what is Girl on the Wave? Like obviously, so you started this blog traveling and surfing, but like now, like what is it? Because like you're very humble, but it's a pretty fucking significant thing that you're doing. When I looked through your Instagram, I was like, what the fuck is this girl do? Like what the hell is this? Like you're at the
Oh my
like
God.
Roxy house in Morocco or whatever. Like what the fuck were you up to?
Well,
What are you doing?
yeah, things went pretty fast at some point. I don't know, like, I mean, yeah, Girl on the Wave. It's because it was super like obvious. It was like me on the wave, you know, like me. I'm a girl and I was on the wave.
Yeah.
And also I found this connection like on the way from on the wave, because like from traveling I transmit into surfing, so you know I was girl on the wave on the way, and then I started to be on the wave, and I found it like that's gonna be a nice name, even if I'm not pretty sure if it's like grammatically correct, you know, in English.
It sounds very European, but I think it's perfect. It's your brand. It's just like I'm the girl on the wave. Yeah.
Yeah, the girl on the wave, exactly.
So like what? So you start
Well,
blogging and
Yeah, I started blogging, and then as I said, there were like, apparently there were some girls, women who were like reading that, and they wanted to do the same, you know, and then I started to realize that I can build up like some kind of like community around that. And also it was very fascinating for me that, you know, I didn't have a single mate, like I didn't have like a single person who would go with me surfing from Poland.
yeah.
And I said, okay, if I'm gonna start to blog about that and make it more like more spread out that news more, then I will be able to build up some community, you know.
Yeah.
And there will be more people, more girls mostly following that. And actually, yeah, that happened. I started with one surf camp in Portugal. It went really well, and I realized that I can do it. I mean, if I can do it for one group, then I can probably do it for 2 or 3 or 4, you know. Now it's just a matter of scaling it somehow.
Yeah.
And I made this, let's say, like a plan in that time that I will try to organize 6 surf camp the next year. And those 6 surf camp will permit me to actually move out of Poland, you know.
Yeah.
And so I put the offer on, and people start to sign up. And more or less in the middle of March, I was sure that it's gonna happen. I mean, that was the moment when I just went to my boss and I said, look, I think that it's time for me to leave. And they were actually not that much surprised, you know. They were like, well, we know that it's time for you to leave, more or less from the last year, you know, because you are a girl all the time at the airport. You are taking, you know, your day off all the time, constantly, like you are more in Portugal than here. So we can see it.
Yeah.
And they told me, like, good luck, you know, and they actually helped me to leave. That was really very, very nice.
What were you doing before?
I was working for a website about movies and cinema industry in Poland, something like IMDb in the United States.
You're like writing, developing. What were you doing?
I was actually head of sales.
Holy shit, you were a saleswoman. What the hell?
I was selling, yeah.
Okay, so that's cool though, because you have an understanding of like how to bring sales. I think everybody needs to work a sales or marketing job because it shows you how to move people, right? So like when you have this idea, that makes so much fucking sense to me, because like now you have this idea of like girl on the wave. You're like, I can make something out of this. I can sell this idea.
Yeah.
And that's and now it's evolved into you. How long have you been doing these surf camps for?
So this year is 7th edition. You know, I can't believe it that it went so fast, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. I mean, it's 10 years from the moment when I saw the ocean first time, and I still remember the feeling. It was crazy feeling. Over the cliffs in Portugal, I saw the ocean. I was like, I have never seen anything like that in my life.
Wow.
Like this kind of energy, this waste view of ocean, you know, from the high cliff. I'm like, I want to be here.
Yeah.
Now just let's try to find a way to make it. And that was 10 years ago. And then, as I said, like 3 years after, I was already into it. I just made the jump, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if there was a net, you know.
It has to be like that, I think.
But yeah, it's always like that.
Yeah.
You know what they say when you surf? It's like when you want to like catch a wave, you jump in the moment when you are really scared to jump. Then it's the moment to jump.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
you
then
also
you can go
have
there.
Yeah. It's like jumping off the cliff without wings, and the only way you'll grow those wings is like having the fear of dying. Like on the way down is when you grow your wings. Like you can't have, I've been talking about this idea a lot because that's what this trip to Costa Rica has been for me too, is like this act of faith. Like it made no sense for me to come to Costa Rica right now.
Absolutely.
Like after a year of like basically putting my business in the dirt and then trying to rebuild things. My dog just fucking died. Like all this crazy shit was going on, and like I felt like I needed to go to Costa Rica. I didn't have a real good reason, but it was like, I need to go, and it needs to be this moment of faith in myself. And if I have proof, it's not faith, it's evidence. Like, so there has to be a risk.
There must be a risk.
In order for you to do something magical, like that's when that happens. And that, to me, that's what real spirituality actually is. It's that choice that you're talking about earlier. It's like, what are you going to choose? I think that, people talk about free will, and they're like, do we have free will or not? And I'm like, I think it's the wrong question. It's where do we have free will, and how can you exercise that small amount of free will that you do have? And to me,
I agree.
That's choice. It's what are you going to choose? And that's what cope is to me. It's what are you going to do with the choice that you have?
Yes.
How are you going to choose to respond to this? Are you going to be a victim to life, or are you going to choose to, even when you take an L, you can learn from it or you can lose. But if you take it as a loss, then you're a loser. But if you learn, then that's a future win. So it's all about the choice and how we choose to process these things. And to me, that's what cope is. And I'm a health coach, and I talk a lot about like nutrition and stuff. But to me, this is like, I'm a holistic health, like obsessive. So like to me, holistic health is mind, body, heart, and then spirit. And this is just my approach on spirituality. To me, it is surfing and traveling and finding your truth and following your passion and following what makes you happy. Like to me, that is spirit, because you look and like you're living with spirit. You're inspired is to fill with spirit. Like you are living your life. And that's when I meet you and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who is this girl? You are so inspiring to be around. And I see other women gravitating towards you and other people gravitating towards you, because you're inspiring, because you're living with spirit. You're living in harmony with your spirit, right?
Yes, I think that I live like in peace with myself. And what I hear from people many times is that I am very real in what I do, and that's why they follow. Because in effect, I have never been expressing myself more than how I'm expressing myself like right now. Like Girl on the Wave is me, and I can feel it. So But you said something really important about this, like victimizing, putting you in the victim position, and this is something. This is this level where I believe that comes just before, I don't know. Imagine like victimizing yourself is something. It's like the lowest level of energy that can happen, because it completely, you just let all the responsibility to go somewhere else.
Give your choice away.
Yeah, you just give your choice away. I mean, you just empower yourself. You just don't have any power then if you start to victimize yourself, because what that does it mean? That nothing depends on you.
Yep.
That everything happens to you, and that everyone else is to blame. And that means that you have no power to change. So this is really super low. It's better to, I think, get angry about something, to get, to get angry, and maybe even, to make your pride work at some point. Like, I'm not gonna be that person. I don't deserve that. I'm not gonna be doing this, That's better than victimizing yourself. Because at least from that point, there is a tiny chance that there is gonna be a courage or some strength that is gonna, help you to just get rid of that.
Yeah.
And so like, all right, here I go. This is me. This is how it is. This is how it is.
Yeah. Just facing it.
Just
right?
face it.
And like really lean in.
And lean in, exactly. And I can, I can be complaining about that. I can be crying about that. I can be blaming all the world about that, what happened to me, or why I'm here and now. Mm-hmm. Or I can just do something about that.
Yes. Yeah, that is cope, and that's like why
exactly. It can be a small thing.
Yeah.
I heard that the routines, it's something that really helps us in the moment when we are really very, very low. It can be one thing that you really enjoy per day. Mm-hmm. Let's say it can be, walk out with your dog, or you just listen to your favorite song for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Something that you really like. Again, something that brings you joy.
Yeah.
And start with this thing. Try to give yourself something that, gives you some kind of like feeling that there's something nice.
Yeah. And something you too. Like, I think
exactly.
Like that's what, like why do I like turquoise? Like, there's no reason for that. That's not domestication. Yeah. There's no like story. It's just like, that's spirit to me. That is my style. It's like, I like this thing. And so it's like, you find that mirrored through a song that you really love. Why do you love that song? You don't fucking know. Why do you love walking with your dog? It's like your, just these little flavors of your experience that make your life you, and just reminding yourself of what that is, so that you can, because like what happens is essentially the reason we have problems in life is we just get distracted from ourselves. We lose our relationship with ourselves, and that's when life gets overwhelming. And then we get anxious because we're overwhelmed and we're away from ourselves, and then eventually after being anxious for long enough, your spirit starts to like literally pull itself away from life. So that's what depression is. It's just lessening of you, so that you can kind of like conserve energy and force yourself to go inside and introspect. I think depression is, obviously it's a very difficult thing for people to deal with, but I think it's a survival mechanism. It's a biological response to you not living your life authentically. It's bringing you inside so that you can actually deal with your shit.
That's really interesting. Yeah, which is I never felt about depression like that. I think, but yeah, that's a good point. I think it's just like this kind of feeling when you completely have no power, to do anything, and you don't see the reason for which you should do anything. It's like, I think I'm lucky enough that I can say I have never been like seriously depressed.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It's maybe because there is a big wheel of life in myself, that I don't know. Maybe because I was also close to die one time, and
that'll do it. Yeah.
And that completely changed my attitude. I mean, I realized how life is precious actually, and I start to just. I think that I just don't allow myself to be too low, like too sad, because I'm like, oh, come on. I mean, you are lucky actually, to be here. It's your time. You can do this time the best that you can.
Yeah.
And life is in your hands,
Yeah.
That's something that everyone should understand. And of course, it's easy to say because we are also full of some traumas. We are full of past events, generational traumas, things that we bring out of our homes from our parents and grandparents and our teachers and school and stuff.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of inner work that we need to do before we can really start to feel like we have power to do anything we want. But it's worth it,
Yeah. It really just comes down to choice.
It is all about choice.
It's just and even if you say that there's a bunch of odds stacked against you, you can still play the game and you can figure it out. And
Absolutely.
What choice is, the ability to choose is a belief in yourself. It is, again, it's this moment, it's faith. It's I'm not super Christian or religious or anything, but there's this saying in the Bible or whatever that it's God made the world with all of it, all of the fucked up, the murder, the rape, all of it, destruction, sadness, infant death, all of that, and said, this is good. So to declare that life is good, and I find this a lot with people who have had near-death experiences. I've had a lot of near-death experiences, well, a few near-death experiences, not a lot, but I've faced death and darkness in myself, and people often ask me how I can be in a fucked up situation and how am I still okay? I'm dude, I'm not just okay. It's a choice. I'm going this is good. It's an act of faith in life to say
it's an act of faith in life.
Yeah, and yourself.
And
really.
Yourself.
Yeah, to choose to believe, even especially when things are hard. That's when the most beauty happens.
Well, it's the dark side or the bright side. I mean, we are all this kind of Jedi. We can choose. I mean, we can choose to live on the bright side of life, or we can choose to stay on the dark side.
Yeah.
And the thing is just that if we once decide to stay on the dark side, then it's gonna be only worse.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna get more of what you choose there too, because even not choosing is also a choice.
That's also true.
Right? So it's if shit sucks, then you're choosing shit to suck even more.
Yes.
By not choosing to say I'm gonna try at least. And even if I fail, I'm gonna still get up. I might slip, I might fall, I'm gonna keep fucking trying. As long as I have breath in my lungs, as long as I can see, as long as I can walk, I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how many times you fall, it's how many times you can get up.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
the point. So
yeah.
The choice is everything. This is I think that this is what human has. And something that is distinguishing us from the animals world. It's the consciousness of the choice that we have. And this is what makes us special. So we should really appreciate that, in life.
Yeah. I think that's everything.
Absolutely.
That is cope, honestly. I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah, I want to say that I'm really very happy to see what you do for people, and that every single person that you are able to enforce this way and put in the right trajectory, that's a huge success. It's much more important than doing any other kind of job in any kind of big company making huge amount of money, or I don't know, doing anything. I mean, one change here is super precious. So thank you for doing that for people.
Thank you, dude. I mean, these conversations, meeting people like you are why I do this. I tell people all the time, people ask me why I coach or why I do this content and podcast and all this shit. I'm literally just still a sad kid about the oceans being destroyed. So I went through all of these things. I went to college to be an environmental scientist and then environmental studies major just to try to save the oceans. I'm still doing the same thing, and all I realized was I'm gonna go and study and maybe try to save one coral reef or whatever, just do these studies and try to get a grant to protect one area of land, but ultimately the problem is deeper than the ocean. The problem is the people. I can't get people to give a shit about the litter or the bleaching of the coral reefs or the acidification of the ocean if they feel like shit. So I'm And I noticed that in myself because I was like, I feel like shit. I'm not even taking care of myself, so I can't expect it to give a shit about any of that.
That's true.
So I have to help people.
How can you take care of a nature if you don't even take care of yourself, you know? But that's another thing that, as we said before, the change starts in yourself. I mean, you need to start with yourself. And this is not egoism or being self-centered. It's just making this world a better place.
Yes.
You know, you start with yourself.
Yeah.
You make yourself a better person. A person who is more in love with yourself, not like self-centered in a way, like, you know, narcissistic way, but in a way that you are really in peace with yourself.
Yeah.
And you like yourself, and you like what you do, and you like who you are. Then you start to give the same to other people and to animals and to the nature, and then everything starts to be like one, you know.
Yes.
And it's super beautiful, respectful, and united.
Yeah, that's what this whole vision is. That's why I want to have this conversation. That's why I meet you. I'm like, dude, will you podcast with me? Because we all get to represent this beautiful change that's happening in the world, where we are deciding, we're choosing to live a life that's authentic to us. And as a result of that, we create more beauty, we inspire other people, then those people inspire other people, and then they get better.
Of course. I also was inspired one day. I mean, I used to be inspired by other people who inspire me. Now I'm glad if I can inspire someone.
Exactly, yeah.
And also I will tell you that there is a reason why we are meeting here in Costa Rica, you know, you and me, because our life choices are like they are, like separately, and at some point we meet, right?
Yeah. And
that's not a coincidence.
Yeah, it's us choosing to cope with life on our terms and
exactly.
taking better care of ourselves, doing the things that feel true to us.
Exactly, it's us coping with the life as we decide. Thank you so much for this conversation. It was amazing.
Dude, thank you. This is perfect. I think your story is going to inspire a lot of people, and I just am super excited to keep up with you and everything that you're doing. I think you're an amazing woman, and you're going to keep doing amazing things. You already have done so much, and I'm looking forward to just...
I hope to see you in Europe.
I was going to say, fucker, yeah, we got some stuff to do. I'm going to come do some surf camp stuff with you. We have many more podcasts. I mean, we could talk for fucking hours. It's just getting dark as shit, and the bugs are attacking us. And
the bugs are eating us.
We have limited battery here, but this is a great introduction podcast, and I hope that, you know, I tell people all the time, like, cope is not for me. Cope is for you. Cope is for the girls in your surf camp. Cope and this vision that I'm building, this is something I'm building a vehicle that other people can use to plug into their own thing and to use to help themselves and help what they want to do. But it's really about community, and that's why this podcast is an essential thing. I'm trying to build something for all of us. I am this like visionary person in the same way that you are. I'm a big dreamer, and I want to bring in all of these people who share the same values in the same way we see other people in the water. I understand that you share values, so like, let's come together, let's do cool stuff together. Other people that are doing cool shit, link up with other people who are doing cool shit. Let's connect, and we can all do something bigger together than we would be able to do by ourselves. So I look forward to many years of friendship, many years of collaboration, doing some cool shit, sharing some waves in fucking Portugal, which is absolutely something I need to do. And Morocco too, and we've got some cool stuff to do for sure. So thank you for being a part of this.
And some good service, you know, for other people is like, I think it's the most important in our work actually. Like, if our work is something like a service for others.
100%.
You know, we've been doing Vision of this festival here in Costa Rica.
Oh God, yeah. Not even gonna touch that.
A lot of stuff was happening, but you know, I just wanted to say about this experience that I had with one of the monks that were there from some New Yorker ashram, and he actually said something was really super, super crucial, like how to be successful in life. You know, I mean, after a meditation that we made, he sits around like the circle and he's telling us, look, what do you think? How to be successful in life? And then he starts to explain. What he basically said is just that to be successful in life, you must be, first of all, happy of other success. Secondly, your work must be a service. And then third is that you need to help others to succeed.
Yes.
Then you are successful in life.
Yeah.
You know, that was so beautiful. I really took it super like deep what he said.
That's the goal, dude. And I think we're both doing that in a really beautiful way. And I think that's why.
Yes, we are doing the
100%.
good work.
That's why our message, I mean, like, we're not just like, you know, we're not doing what we're doing to be rich. Like, what we're doing is attracting other people and bringing other people in, and we're being of service. Like, we're sharing this beautiful world with other people.
We
and
are rich
bringing them
somehow,
in.
you know, like richness is not only about the money.
Oh, we're rich as fuck, dude. I mean, look at where we're at.
Look
I mean,
where we are.
if people could
Exactly.
even see, like, just the cliff sides and the mountains of where we are in Dominican, Costa Rica, like, we are rich as fuck, and I'm so honored to be able to share this space with you and just be rich here in Costa Rica with you, and
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing
looking forward for a reunion, right?
yeah, many more. It won't be goodbye. We're both kind of splitting soon. You're going to, where are you going next?
I go to Morocco.
Yeah, and I'm going to Asheville, North Carolina, and we've both got some projects to do and some work to do, and hopefully we'll see each other again in a few years and talk some more shit and surf some more waves.
I'm sure that it will happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, thank you for what you're doing, especially for women. I work mostly with women, actually, and I try to really inspire a lot of other women to surf. So seeing you, like, really being the fullest embodiment of sharing surfing with women, I'm like, dude, fuck yeah.
That's the goal, yeah.
It's so important, sharing stoke and opening this pathway for women to be able to enjoy the oceans. Like, women are the embodiment of the fucking ocean, or vice versa anyway. So, like, that is 100% women's space. So it's so cool to be able to see you inspiring these women to surf and actually really showing them how to be surfers and giving them that space to do so. I think it's super important. So thank you for what you do and just inspiring women, because I think the world needs it more than ever. So
Thank you for saying that. It's super kind.
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm trying to lead the way for men to hold that space for women as well, and understand that we need you guys bad, like, more than ever. So
Oh yeah, for sure you do. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Even in the water.
Especially in the fucking water, especially. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you, Margarita,
Thank you so much,
Margorzata,
Lee.
Margot, Gosha, all the
Yes,
names.
no, but I'm really touched that you know my name in Polish. Like
I've learned it. I had spent
beautiful.
4 days learning it. It was not,
Yes.
yeah, it took me
It
a
takes
fucking
time,
minute.
I know.
Definitely took me a minute. Tell people where they can find you on Instagram. Is Girl on the Wave the best place on Instagram?
Girl on the Wave.
Yeah.
Yes. So you
Okay.
can find me on Instagram or Facebook or even on Google.
Okay, and you're running surf camps as well?
I'm
Like,
running surf camps.
what's the plans for those? Do you have dates for those? I know you have one coming up soon.
Well, yeah, I'm moving back to Europe, but first I go to Morocco and I'm gonna open 2 surf camps there.
What are the dates?
It's 6 to 13 April and then 20 to 27 April. The first is fully booked. The
Okay.
second one is still open. I mean, we can still receive some guests there.
Okay. Do you have plans for more? I think this podcast will probably be up at the end of April. Do you have more plans later this year, or should they just check your Instagram?
No, I mean, then I'm back to Portugal. And I'm running the whole summer season in Portugal. So if there is by any chance any girl that is listening to us who would like to join my surf camp in Portugal, please contact me. I'm gonna be more than happy to deliver that. Yes, and then all the plans for the next year, I think I'm gonna be closing them by the middle of this year.
Cool.
This is usually how I work.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll just send them to your Instagram. We'll put your Instagram in the bio and
Totally.
keep up with you there.
And I will do the same.
Yeah, please. Hopefully I'll be able to cut this up into some cool short form content for you to be able to post on your page as well and
Yes,
get it out
let's
there.
do it. For sure, there are some girls that are willing to have some help, how to find themselves, and sometimes it's just like a 1, 2, 3 talks, and the role of the coach is not to tell how they should live their lives,
No.
but is to make the question that
Yeah.
they're gonna find the answers for, right?
A good coach is just a mirror.
It's a mirror.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for being the mirror.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a mirror too. I think that we all get to do that for each other.
All right.
So, well, yeah, this has been Cope, episode fucking 4 or whatever, I don't know.
Costa Rica.
From Dominical, Costa Rica, Costa
Dominical.
Ballena. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you soon. Much love to you. Thank you for doing this. And, yeah, we'll see you guys there.
Shaka.